Hello friends, welcome to a very special video. For today it is my birthday. 365 days of playing this account on Rocket. What a ride it's been. So let's go through the first 365 days, what I've done well, what I've done not so well, there are many things, and what I want to achieve next year, where I hope to be in 1 year's time. In the words of my father, "You're not still going to be playing that bloody game, are you?" He doesn't sound like that, but in this thing he does. I will be, Dad. I will be. Look, I've got 3 hours, Dad. 3 hours. And 5 brand new Starlight. Why do you get Starlight sculptors for anything? Dear, oh dear. So we've been playing a year. What have we accomplished? Well, not much, to be completely honest. But we have got an account which is now, it got to tier 5 in about, I can't remember, that 9, 8, 9 months. Certainly there's been many people get to tier 5 a lot faster than I have. But not with more style or riz. I would say that's also not true. But anyway, we got there in 8, 9 months. Still no Minamoto bought. For shame. You know what? 12 PvP said something which I really agreed with, that being free to play in Rock, you feel when you do something good, oh, I could have done it better had I had some money behind me. And when something bad happens, you kind of feel like, oh, if only I'd have had an account which was pay to win, that wouldn't have happened. So you really do feel the pinch a little bit. I've kind of felt that KVK1 more so than anything else. I mean, we can actually go and look at our stats. I don't remember how to do it, so I'm going to stop the recording, find out, and then seamlessly go into it. Seamless transition acquired. So we started in 3259. I've shat on that kingdom a lot. It deserved to be shit on. Let me say that, but it wasn't the worst place ever. It just went downhill quickly. So KVK1, we killed 3.5 million units, which was more than 99% of other governors, which says a lot about the other governors. KVK1 was a struggle. Not only did we have no active tier 5s, we had one, I think. Everyone else quit. Just for myself, like, I was running Thutmo's YSG. Eventually, YSG got max, but that might have been towards KVK2, and it was a bloody struggle. I keep saying archers are fun. They are, but they're hard at the end of the game. Like, I lost 43, that's pathetic, right? 43,000 units in KVK1. I think I was of the mindset that I needed to keep some, well, because I needed a march. I basically had no units, I seem to recall, but also all the rallies and garrisons were terrible. Didn't help. The rest of it was, we came a very distinct second in a 2-horse KVK race, and that was pretty much the story of 3259. So we started slowly. Since then, we've acquired a lot more kills, a lot more deads. I think I ended KVK1 with like 40, maybe 35 million kill points, which sounds really bad, and it is pretty bad, but I really, really tried in KVK1. Admittedly, I did farm 100k gems, so I did have that going for me. Since then, we're almost at 2 million deads. Deads have been a lot less of an issue as I've played more and more on this account. I've realized that I just need one march for, I need 400k tier 5 cavalry troops. So we'll work out exactly how many I have when these lads come home. Lads and lasses, women have feelings too. I've read that in a book. Yeah, I probably should cut all that out. I love women and men equally, not like that. I'm rambling anyway. So I finally learned that I just don't need on this account. I need like 800,000 troops. I have 2 marchers. At the time, I had 1 marcher. We got Gajamada. And we also got Liu Che, who is going to be useful later on, but certainly not yet. So at the time, we had Thutmose wearing a shitty version of this set. We had no... I kind of did some fighting with Sun Tzu, but I think he had this set, maybe a worse version of this set. Obviously, no armaments, it's KVK1. We had no cavalry of which to speak of at all. Cavalry was a very late addition for this account. I struggled a lot, and I would advise anyone thinking of doing a serious free-to-play challenge with no like self-imposed restrictions, don't pick archers. They're just really difficult KVK1. If you're a proper whale, Thutmose YSG, best march KVK1, like bar none in my opinion. If you're not a massive whale, just don't make it hard for yourself. Just go Sun Tzu Bjorn or Martel Sun Tzu if you really want to. Maybe even Richard if you're feeling flush. Don't go archers. That was my big problem early on. So since then, this last KVK, I mean, let's find out exactly how we did now. I know how to do it. KVK2 was a complete write-off for me. I was on holiday for most of it. barely did anything. Let's actually have a look. Most of my dead troops came in KVK2 for the first kingdom I was in. We fought 6 days, and I was like, it's terrible. And then I migrated out after it. This one lost 300k units, killed 4 million or so. I missed all the fighting. I was helped up. I'm a good friend over, sir. Our alliance did amazingly. Our kingdom did amazingly, but barely fought. KVK3 was much better for me. Less good for the alliance because we lost. But the 3v1 we did at the end was fantastic. We got a good 10 million kills, no kill trading, so I was happy with that. I think that was an acceptable number. How many deads did I take? Well, honestly, I lost 0 archers, and I blame Irons entirely for that, because joining his rallies was impossible. I basically lost all of these troops. I'd say about 80% of them were infantry, which has left me in a bit of a bind now, as I barely have a full infantry march. Yep, we killed the most. In fact, it's a shame I didn't do a recording. The stats for this KVK are pretty mad. We may have lost, but we lost heroically, which is the best thing. We pretty much were the top of everything, apart from the victory parade. So, I think on a personal level, I won 1 out of 3 KVKs this year. I guess this kingdom won 2 out of 3, but I lost my first one. Won the second one when I barely did anything. I wasn't even in the country. And then we lost the third one, but that was by far the most fun. I really enjoyed that one. So, obviously, we had no OTARC. 17 out of 26 Ark of Osiris wins. My role in Ark this kingdom is really simple. What I do is I stand next to the rally leads and I fill every single rally, and I do no on-field fighting. I usually get about 40k points. I'm a role player. We've defeated a troop led by Pelagius. That's been a good accomplishment. Perhaps the best accomplishment on this account is having this. The now or never, winning that, and winning the second game of power. Ironically, if I'd have saved all that, I would have been able to get a Zenith for archers. But this was just so I could push tier 5. I really wanted tier 5 before KVK3. The question I was always asked is it better to push VIP 14 or tier 5 first? And the de facto answer is VIP 14 is better. Everyone says it. But I'm glad I didn't do it. I'm glad I went for tier 5. It was just such an enjoyable experience fighting in KVK3 with tier 5, even though I had to completely change my troop setup because I couldn't run Thutmose YSG with what was effectively this set, because running Thutmose there is not a good idea. I had to go full in on Huo and YSG. Not the best set ever, certainly passable, but I really enjoyed being able to fight with tier 5, especially Huo. Big shout out to Huo, he's amazing. One thing this account has got in spades is ridiculous armaments. I mean, we'll go through this again. This is a free-to-play account. Never spent a penny on anything. Certainly never spent a penny on armaments. This is what we got. Double relic. Got this the other day. Pretty good. I mean, in terms of... Okay, we've got nothing to put on it, obviously, but in terms of natural things pulled from traveling, ridiculous, right? Even this is pretty damn good. And Artisan needs a bit of work, but I don't have no transmutation stones for that. So that's... You'd say, well, you got very lucky. But then we look at the other stuff. Sun Tzu has this setup here. Hunter, Hurried. Admittedly, it's on the same one. This was a natural pulled armament of a double relic, of a double inscription. I keep saying random words here. Hunter and Hurried. Like, Hurried's a bit meh, but Hunter, mad on a natural pulled one. 3%, 2.9. Okay, to work on the rest. The rest of them aren't great on Sun Tzu. They're not bloody terrible, are they? So that's pretty redonkulous. And then we look at Zhu Liang. Okay, it's not as good as I look at it again, but still, considering I've never put a penny in this account, it still feels pretty mad. Another natural pulled one's ridiculous. That one needs a bit of work. Vitalis is very good though, and that one needs a lot of work as well. So I'm going to need more transmutation stones. What I do have, which is pretty mad now you think about it, is I have a Hunter inscription ready to go. So if I ever manage to get... well, let's go back into this. I'm not going to get rid of the double relic on the other guy, but this... I mean, I've kind of just left it here because I think good double relic as well is probably better than Hunter, even if the stats are crap. I mean, is there anything we've let's here's something my good friend Phantom's taught me how to do this best. What have we got? Well, we basically have nothing. Nothing to put Hunter on. I mean, I could put Hunter on this and then just re-roll everything else, but I'll just save for now. I think a Hunter in the bank is pretty darn nice. So inscriptions and armaments have just been ludicrously lucky in this account. We did 7 legendary equipments over the course of the year. I made the Milky Way with the distinct intention of dismantling it, my first ever legendary dismantlement at one point. However, it crit. So I'm now left in this weird quandary where I'm kind of in no man's land with this. I can go towards full Dragon Breath set. I just need this and this, and I can craft this already. I haven't got the materials for this. And then I've got a random crit Milky Way, but I'm just going to be so long before I can run a second Archer March. Basically, I don't know what to do. It feels... I wish it hadn't crit. I wish anything else had crit, but alas, it didn't. So we're stuck with this. Nothing crit on Woe, but it's still a decent set. We need to work on this and this. This is fine for now, but I'm just saving my materials till we can get some accessories and I can think about what to do. Nothing on Sun Tzu. In terms of commanders, we have Max Woe, a 5-5-2-1 Zoog, working on getting him to max. We have a now irrelevant Thutmose. Ethel's still a role player. Max YSG was probably the only bone of contention. I did put a lot of heads in him. 676. Obviously, I like them back now, but he still does a good job. I just don't know the answer to the question, is it a good idea to invest in YSG still? I'm probably a little more towards no than I was, but you know, I've played a year with YSG and I've enjoyed that year. I wish I had the heads back now, but then I would have had a really crappy March, even crappier than Thutmose YSG. Got 5-5-1-1 Herman, he'll stay that way for a long time. Everyone else is virtually irrelevant. Mehmed, I've been quite unlucky with my Mehmed heads because I want him 5-5-1-1 and then I'm planning to double relic him. Richard's the only other guy of relevance because I'm going to use him to chain barbs. I'll probably put some heads to get him to 3-1-1-1. I believe that's basically the minimum you can get Richard to have him to viably chain barbs in Season of Conquest. And the only other guy of any note, the guy we just pulled, Liu Che. But that's very much a long-term project. We are VIP 14 on the way to VIP 15. I would like to say that's due to my excellence in farming gems, which could help, and just being really frugal with everything. Basically, it's because I'm in a massive alliance. I mean, we've got a gift level 29 after this kingdom's younger than my account, so after less than a year. So you can probably tell. Obviously, there's nothing really big on at the moment. When there's an event on, the amount of golden chests that get dropped is, even without, you just get a nice little trickle. In terms of speed ups, we haven't got enough research to push for tier 5 inf, which is the only thing I haven't got tier 5 at the moment. In fact, we have everything researched apart from this, and this. I'm just going to let that go naturally. Don't care about this. I'll save this if I ever go for a Zenith. But we still have some troop training, so a decent supply, and we've got quite a decent supply of universals as well. At some point, I'll do a push. I'll do some troop training, but for now, I don't need to. We're just waiting for these to come back so we can actually look how many troops I have in the account. So we've got 450 tier 5 cav, 365 tier 5 archers, 360 infantry, and then some tier 4 of the rest. I plan to, well, these are just there because for the tier 2 training things, I'll run these into a city before KVK, and I don't like having this many. I don't like having more than 50k battering rams just in case you get city rallied, because then all these wonderful things die, but luckily you save some battering rams. So my ideal is about this many tier 5 cav, probably 100k more tier 5 crossbowmen, just so I can run 50% expansions and not have to worry about healing immediately. You can take a bit of hospital. The rest of these are my dispensable troops. I say every infantry troop is dispensable. Every tier 4 cav and every tier 4 archer is dispensable once we upgrade the 100 or so. So I'd say one of the bigger problems I found with free-to-play is that it's not too hard to meet any target for kills if you fight and fight hard, but meeting the dead's target when you don't have too many troops, like let's just take 500k off this. We've got 1.5 mil troops. We probably need to keep 450. We need to keep 900k of them. So we basically got 600k disposable troops, and then I'm pretty much down to the bare bones of not being able to fight effectively. So I kind of, that's the one sticking point. Another big sticking point is going to come up in KVK4 when it starts in a few days, couple of weeks, is Crystal Tech. We're going to have to grind our little heart out for Crystal Tech. We're doing all right when it comes to action points. We've got a nice little stock here. I think we've got about 500,000. That's 200k. That's 325. So that's 400. Yeah, we've got over 500k, so I can really go hard. The only problem is it's A, time consuming, and it's just massively time consuming. And B, I've got two good chaining marches now. It'll be Hwo, YSG, and Richard Zug. They will pretty much live forever, I believe. Although Richard's armor might hold him back. I have to get Richard up to level 60, of course, when it starts. But yeah, my plan for KVK4 is just going to be grind, grind, grind. What does the future hold? Well, I don't care too much about power. Like, I presume this account's going to stay around this power. Maybe like 65, 70 is going to be the peak it ever hits. It doesn't need any more than that. Like maybe in 3 years' time, I'll be fighting using 5 marches. For the next year, I'll be fighting with 2 marches, I believe. Liu Che, it will come into the picture in a long time. Before then, I want to put the equivalent of, I guess, at least 300 heads into Zug to max him. After that, I want to work on a second cavalry commander. Go with Hwo, probably Joan. And I want to get her, well, the problem with this, I don't have any skill reset, so it might not be Joan. Yeah, maybe it is Nevsky. I just don't want to run Hwo Nevsky, but if I'm running Hwo Joan of Arc, I basically either have to get insanely lucky or max Joan to have her get her 5 on this skill, which is the relevant one. This one is really relevant. That's a lot of heads in there. Getting 3 a day. Let's say we get 100 a month, so we're getting 1,200 a year. So in a year's time, I'll be able to have max Zug. Probably have got Joan or the new cavalry commander who comes out at that point, or maybe even Nevsky to a usable level. Then I'll start working on Herman, and then we have the infantry to worry about. So we're a long way off infantry, and we're certainly a long way off getting a second march for cavalry or for archers, which means these equipments I have here are just here because I haven't bothered dismantling them yet, are ready to go and fund our next big thing. I guess the next big thing is whether we go complete Dragon Breath here. We go, everyone's talking about the 222 route, but even with the 222 route, which is 2 KVK items, 2 Dragon Breath pieces, and 2 leadership pieces, I'm so far away from the blueprints for that. I think the logical thing is to probably get the 4th Dragon Breath piece, which I can do here, then start working on Cav and get accessories in the meantime. Problem with accessories is they're mega expensive to craft. 120 materials, 40 of each. Just saving for now, probably be able to afford one when KVK starts. But yeah, as I was saying, I'm definitely staying here for KVK4 and probably beyond. I really like this kingdom. I like the people here. It's a really nice vibe. We will get into the next video as to how the migration went. I'll give you a little indication. It's pretty massive. This is our current alliance kills. Yep, this is our current individual kill. We've got Mad Achilles. We're hoping to speak to you very soon. Mad Achilles is very good at this game. His accounts are very strong. I believe he is the first player I've seen for a long time in Canyon who has a... Where is he? Yeah, 3 million power. So it's good to get him in the kingdom. So I'm hoping to stay here. The only reason I'd ever consider leaving is if the rigors of Crystal Tech get too much for me. I have a life. I also have another account on Rock, which feels like a bit of a life, where I'm a lot more involved in doing many. I've got a much stronger account, which is fun to play. It really is. This is fun to play for a very different reason. I love the grind, and the other one I just love. Feels good to be strong sometimes. So 2 lots of Crystal Tech grinding every few months might take its toll on me. So we may be in a position where I have to migrate back to KVK2 for my sanity. I really hope that doesn't come because I love playing this kingdom. Not only would I loath to lose this mad gift level and all that comes with it, but just the people as well. The people are great. So we will see what happens. I'm certainly going to give it KVK4, most likely KVK5. If I feel I'm notably weak and can't keep up with the power curve, I may have to address that. But for now, yeah, I think for next year's target, so I'd like to get more kill points than this. I accept my own failings in that. I can make excuses of not being here, but I could have fought more for sure. Certainly want to at least double this. I want to get this to about 700 million next year. We'll have 3 KVKs. I think that's a very double figure to hit. I think 1 billion might be pushing it a little bit, but we'll see how much we can get to. Want to earn myself an OTARG? Earn it. I guess if we're going to get 700 million kill points in a year, then we're not going to get an OTARG. And just continue getting stronger, continue growing the commanders, continue trying to avoid pressing this button. The amount of times I've almost accidentally bought the daily special offer is staggering. And I know the second I do it, I'll be you're not free to play, you loser. And that's what spurs me on to be a bit more careful. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we can show what this year has brought us in the world of this rock. We've got a selection of resources, certainly not a lot. I have 2 farm accounts. Ignore all the other ones, but we have Gregging Farm 20 million, Greg Hamlet 10 million. It's I'm going to get this up to about 20 million until I hear otherwise about what they want. I don't want to get it to cater to City Hall 25 and start counting towards matchmaking. I'm happy with these just being farms for now. Whereas in this kingdom, I realistically don't need this many farms. It's foolish that I've got this many. Here I desperately do. I will have the resource crunch hit me very soon when KVK starts. Because the other thing to mention is it's mad that I've got 18 advanced army expansions. I use them a lot. The great thing about being in an alliance like this is when you do the alliance mobilization, we always hit the top level. So many advanced army expansions come from that. We've got a lot of material. We've got about 100 materials ready to go. We'll be getting more when we dismantle the ones. We've got 2 iconic crystals. It's enough because I'm not going to be able to outpace the iconic crystal rate, which is decent. Armaments, we've established our mega. Finding something to put the hunter on is the only big thing. Apart from that, nothing much to show. We've got loads of these useless thing now, which make a mockery of all the gems I spent on them, but that's what happens when you push tier 5. The rest of it, I guess the plan is to get YSG to his 3rd relic, and then after that, just focus on Mehmed. But like I say, we're a long way away from that. It's a big grind. This has been a lot of talking. I hope you've enjoyed the first year I've done of this account, and I must just take some time out to say thank you very, very, very much to everyone who's followed me, everyone who's supported, either financially, which has been immeasurably appreciated, or just by watching the videos. Like, just watch you don't have to comment, just watch the videos. When people come to me and say, I've watched your entire series from beginning to end and I really liked it, or even I've watched your series from beginning to end, I think you're a bit of a dildo. Even that, like, I'm relevant. I used to go to the gym and watch FIFA series while I was on the treadmill just from beginning to end. I love doing it. And the idea of starting this series, so people have a similar thing, like maybe people find out about it and think, oh, wait, I've got an episode a day for a few days where I can just binge these. I love that feeling. So a massive thanks to everyone for, like, you let me get monetized this year. It's not a lot of money, I'll be honest, but better than nothing. I don't do it for that. It helps. So I really appreciate everyone coming along for the ride. Long may it continue. Some massive shout outs to people as well over the course of the year. The biggest one to shout out to is Logic Bank. You may know Logic Bank as the guy who does some great videos on basically beginner's intro to rock, free to play stuff. I know him not only as that, but the guy who always pops up in my DMs giving me advice, giving me logical things I should do, challenging me, being like an older brother stroke father figure. He's just a really nice guy. Like, the persona he has in his videos is by no means an exaggeration or a lie. He's just a really top guy. And I would never have got to this paltry number, this paltry level of success I have on YouTube, which isn't much, but certainly more than I would have done were it not for Logic Bank taking me under his wing and not only helping me out with videos, ideas, but also giving me shout outs on his channel. I appreciate it a lot, my friend. You're one of life's good guys. Right, I've talked a lot. I'm going to go to bed. Till next time, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next year for more titting around, really, and getting drunk. Till then.